Hey, yo, what the def, fam? It's your boy here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. So we're going to go ahead and do a little defense team showcase for the defense that I ran this season, which for the first time in a while, we went absolutely undefeated. Not a single one was able to deal with this defense, bro. Come on, now that's going to be in the video. Why do you have to make your name that? Oh my god. The nerve of some people, right? Like, come on. Keep it appropriate. All right, regardless of any nonsense and tomfoolery. So, it's an update to the defense that I ran last time, that I showed off last time in Anima Season. Duma is back, and he means business because having him and also the catapult being able to essentially guarantee you're going to break the fence, and then if you don't, you still have Holder for backup, like this really applies a lot of pressure, and it's a kind of defense that's been around for a while. It's not like I invented this or anything. Before this, people were running the Brave Byleth, who has the 3-range style, and they would just put him right there, and they'd give him any of the Tempest skills that give him +1 movement, and then he basically covers the same ground as this Claude. Difference is, this Claude is actually a menace when he initiates on the enemies, so it makes it really hard to be able to try and tank him. When he's reducing your damage to 1, and the combo here with Burger King giving him reflex, Burger King isn't exactly one of the tankier save units right now. I do have physical save on him, and I decided to just go ahead and tack Corrin on here with magic save as well, just to double up, but neither of the save units are on this team to actually live. They're here to just be a glorified focus sash for both of my Claude and Elise units. So if you try to attack them, your action is going to get wasted. And then these two are still free to just rain hell down upon your team right at the bottom. So it's really hard to approach this. Elise is so well protected here with all the obstacles in the way that getting to her on turn 1 is not that easy. And even if you do, you still got to deal with Heimdallr setting up the Foresight Snare, and then still have to find a way to get by the save units that are protecting Elise. And what makes Elise really good here, you could also run Emblem Lyn for this as well, is that she doesn't have to move to reach all the way to the bottom. So you're free to just box her in with all the obstacles right in her face, and she's still going to be able to attack the enemies without having to move, which is really good. So overall, the team just applies a ton of pressure on turn 1. You basically have to do something on turn 1, otherwise you're in deep doo-doo. So let's go ahead and take a look at these replays. And honestly, guys, I think you should be prepared to deal with these types of defenses from now on, because they're going to become even more common. They were kind of common before around like top tier meta players. I tend to see these more frequently when I'm like on the final day. And then it'll either be like the Harmonic Duo Celica or Brave Byleth over there, and maybe instead of Elise, they'll have another one over there too. Like one of those infantry 3-range style units instead of the 6-range style. I think Elise is a little better though, because like I said, she doesn't need to move to hit with 6 spaces away. So this first guy over here, we've got the, attuned Eliwood already. Interesting. We got Grommel the Goat. We got a Brave Sharena. We have Satyr. Satyr is a potential problem here, obviously, because she can end actions of either of my units in front, and then if we're not able to abuse the reach of Elise or Claude, we could end up in some trouble there. So Satyr could be a possible counter to this team. What you would do is just ditch Corrin and run someone with firm cancel control. I didn't really find Corrin doing much, honestly. Like, just because she's got magic save, no one really runs magic ranged units. And if they're running the Lyn Ring on a mage, they're not going to be able to use it on turn 1 anyway. So, because we're trying to gun at the opponents on turn 1, we don't really need to worry about Lyn Ring that much. So, I think you could safely get rid of Corrin, run someone with firm cancel control. Probably Emblem Lucina, I would say. That's who I would go with. But anyway, he's got Satyr over there. We got Alphador, and then we have a baby Camilla. All right, let's see what this guy is up to here. All right, so he's going to have Satyr end Elise's action, which makes sense because I do have Byleth Ring on Elise. So had he used Satyr to end Claude's turn, Elise would have just danced him anyway, so it wouldn't have made a difference. Oh, interesting. He was able to tank. Wow, that's pretty rare to see. So Claude, he didn't have enough speed to actually double Sharena. That is the one weakness of this Claude. He really needs a lot of speed. So, I mean, I might as well give him the trait fruits and give him plus speed for the boon. And then, it's unfortunate, but attack and speed prime really is just like the best A skill to give him, just to gain attack and speed. I could try Sly Swift Sparrow, I guess, but it's not really that much more speed. Prime is 9 to both, and I think Sly Swift is like 13 to both, which it might be enough to matter. I don't know. But like, this guy, he really needs to be able to double, is basically my point here. And not being able to double Sharena when she's got Miracle is the reason why we couldn't get rid of her there. All right, so he snipes our Heimdallr with the Lin Ring there. This guy's actually doing pretty good so far. I'm surprised he lost this, honestly. Like, he made it past the dangerous phase, which is turn 1. So somehow or other, we're actually going to find a way to beat him here. Okay, so Elise goes in with the style. Sets up some tiles, and then... okay, yeah, there you go. The unpredictability of that Byleth ring. So my opening rotation to make sure that Elise doesn't whiff her style and go for the Byleth ring dance, I set it up so that no one is going to be in range of her to dance right away. I have in slot 7 my Emblem Corrin. So there's no position on turn 1 where Elise would be able to dance Corrin unless other units start moving. So that's one way you can get around that little hiccup there. We did run into that problem last time too, where Elise ended up going for a dance instead of going for the 6-range style. But the dance on Claude really gave us the win here pretty much. He's still going for it though. This guy is really trying to win this fight here. I kind of respect it. I mean, he's running Satyr for offense, which was something I loved to do back in the day. Not so much now. You don't really need it because just the sheer amount of actions that you've got access to. I don't really think it's necessary to end an enemy turn. But, I mean, this guy, he's just playing pretty competently. I have to give him that. Whereas a lot of the times we're playing people that don't really seem to know what they're doing. Or they're just not even trying. They don't care. They're just trying to get their daily fight done and then move on. Okay, so Elise against Alphador, he just bites her. Yeah, really, how did this guy lose this fight? It seems like he's really trying to win it. So, what actually happened here? It doesn't seem like he's going to have any issues. I wish there was a fast forward button, actually, because we got to wait for all this meandering around before he actually starts getting at my units here. The only thing I can think of is that we wall him out with the traps. Because look at the trap placement that we've got here. He's probably going to run out of turns. And then Corrin, being an annoying ass, sets up the ice tiles and the vine tiles all over the place. Maybe that's what happens. He just, like, runs out of time here. Because I really can't figure out what else could go wrong here. Oh, that kind of screwed him over, too. So Satyr ended Corrin's action, but Corrin would have actually moved downwards onto the bolt trap, so he wouldn't have had to worry about that. And the ice tile would have been set up on Grommel's tile, where it would have just been negated. So the Satyr tech actually came back to bite him there. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, he actually lost the fight because of Corrin, or because of Satyr there. All right, we got this guy with the very funny name. You're a funny guy, sir. So here we've got Emblem Erica, Emblem Sigurd. We got Mythic Needhogger, Mythic Plumeria, Saint Elamine. Okay, so I did what I said I was going to do last time. Just give Duma a different weapon with the res refine. So his base res is 53 now. And this Elamine's base res is 42. So yeah, we have no issues avoiding getting hit by the false start from Elamine there. Oh, he's got the other Plumeria too, the Arcane Plumeria for some reason. All right, very weird tactics here. He just left Erica in harm's way. He didn't even put Needhogger in space to use her save skill on her. So that's just a free KO right there. And then we get the dance with Elise, and now Claude is going to get another KO. All right, so Snake Woman. Oh, wow, actually killed Claude. Interesting. Why didn't he reduce her damage to 1 there? Is it only once per turn that he can do that? Because he attacked twice in that turn. I don't know if it really matters, though, but it's just interesting to see. Like, there's so many things to keep track of now. It's just... It's really hard to keep up sometimes if you're not really paying attention to everything. Okay, that was a waste of an attack. It just whipped Sigurd into Burger King. Yeah, so you may also notice that I'm using Burger King and Elise. Both of them are Fire Season heroes, and it's not Fire Season. So had we ended up taking a loss on defense, it would have been pretty catastrophic. I would have lost like 90 lift, I think. Or something like that. A really large amount of lift that I wouldn't have wanted to lose. But, I mean, hey, we didn't lose any fights at all. So, yeah, we did pretty Gucci here. I don't know why we're even still watching this. Let's go ahead and move on. We should speed through these. We don't need to sit here watching, like, all the suffering of these peoples. We just need to see the first couple of KOs and then get out of here. All right, so this guy's got Alphador. We got a Summer Celica. We got a Mythic Regan, Mythic Plumeria, Duo Marth, and then a Emblem Byleth over there. So his safe defense is actually in the clear. He's not going to end up getting it broken there. So that could help him out a little bit. Okay, that was dumb. Why did he do that? Just have Celica attack. Now, the 3-range style units are actually very good against this defense because if you break the structure that I've got there, you can actually have them attack the catapult. And if you got a slot 3 catapult, you can be safe on turn 1. Doesn't exactly make it any easier to player phase, but it does save you at least on turn 1, though. So, yeah, I mean, the 3-range style units are one way to counterpick this. Satyr, as we mentioned earlier, if the opponent is not running, Cancel Control. So you could just end the action of Claude or Elise or whoever. What else would be good against these types of defenses? I guess you could try to bait. Because Elise, on her first attack, it's not like she does any damage. The style actually does 0 damage. So really, as long as you have a way to tank Claude, you would be okay. That's easier said than done, unfortunately, though. There's not really too many units that are tanking that Claude. Especially not when he's got freaking reflex on him. Okay, these two didn't even want the smoke. All right, we got Dalton up next. Yeah, when people are surrendering on site, you know you've got a toxic defense. All right, so we got a Duo Hilda there. Actually, a very good unit. We got a Mythic Satyr. The Bunny Plumeria. We got Saint Elamine. Oh, wow. Solon, huh? Don't really see this guy anywhere. And then we got a Mythic Hater. All right, so he decides not to end somebody's action with Satyr, and then he just gives up. Very questionable decisions there. Hey, I'm not complaining, though. At least we're speeding through these. We had 3 no-shows and 1 just flop surrender right out the gates. All right, we got Alphador, Brave Sharena, Emblem Lyn. Emblem Lyn could potentially be a problem as well. You'd have to have, like, undefended, though, and he does. So he's got the Fallen Dimitri there. I don't really have any ways to nullify penalties. We do have Hoder, who nullifies 2 penalties, but she doesn't reach everybody. I think it's only 2 spaces with her. Yeah, it's only allies in 2 spaces, not 3 spaces like Saline and stuff. So, yeah, these 3 would be able to get hit by undefended. All right, then we got a Brave Byleth, and then we have a Mythic Regan over there. Oh, he just ended his turn. He didn't even swing. Why didn't he swing? He could have took somebody out. Ain't no way Emblem Lyn was not going to be able to take out Claude there. Was she? Also, by the way, how did Claude end up over there? Dude, he just warped through all the obstacles. How did he Kanto over there? What happened? Okay, so he attacked from there and then just magically ended up over there? That was weird. Unless the Celica ring is able to affect Kanto, which I mean, maybe it does. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, he attacked from there, and then he Celica ring warped in front of Regan over there with the Kanto. That's a really weird interaction. Okay, so that's another one. Who was that? That was this guy. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this one over here. Yeah, so let me know what you guys have been able to do on your defenses lately, and how have you been incorporating any of the new baby units, if you have? Because the baby Edelgard is actually a really good offensive player phaser, for Aether Raid specifically, too, because she can disarm traps, and then she has up to 3 actions there. So she's really good, and then basically no physical or far save is going to be able to tank her either. So the new Edelgard's really good. The new Claude obviously is really good. All right, we have here a Emblem Corrin. We got a Alphador. Oh, this is a crazy build. Look at this Sheeta. Holy shit. All right, so the brand new Arcane Lance. We got Repo Gate, Shatter Slash, Perfect Attack Speed, Instruct, Believe in Love, and then Distant Counter and Null Sea Echo. So a Omni-Tank Sheeta. Very interesting. All right, and then we have Emblem Lucina as well to give her even more tanking. Then we got Saint Elamine and then Plumeria. This Elamine has enough res to actually false start my Duma, I think. Let's see here. Where is her false start? I think it's on the weapon, right? Yeah, she just needs to have more res than the opponent, and she definitely does. We got 53. She's got 58. Interesting that he didn't try to do that, though. But I guess it doesn't matter anyway, because we're going to break his fence regardless. All right, so what is this guy going to try to do here? Let's see here. I'm guessing he's going to try to bait us with Sheeta somehow. But unfortunately, it's not going to work out that well. Yeah, so even if he had a save unit, Elise would swing and then inflict undefended. And then Claude has enough reach to be able to swing on someone who just got undefended. So it's pretty tough to tank this, honestly. It's not impossible, but it's not the easiest thing. All right, yeah, that's a pretty badass Sheeta right there. She just destroyed Claude. Once again, he didn't reduce her damage to 1, though, so I think either he was unable to outrun her, which is pretty possible considering how fast this unit is right here, or his reduced damage to 1 effect is only once per, like, turn or something. Hold on, let's double check that right now, because I'm actually not even 100% on that. Where is it? It's on his B skill, right? Okay, so if it's unit's first combat initiate, yeah, so it's only on the first combat. That's what it is. So when we dance him, his second action, he's not protected by the 1 damage reduction. Might be a good idea to give him Miracle, if that's the case. Because, like, his special damage doesn't really matter. All of his damage just comes from Reflex and the reducing of enemy damage to 1. So if we were to give him Miracle instead, that would up his survivability, especially for that second round of combat. All right, another guy bites the dust here. Looks like he's still going to try, though. I mean, this is pure misery. Look at how trapped this guy is. I feel bad, actually. There's just, like, nothing he can do. This is so scummy. But this is what we have to do on defense, man. Because if you don't do something like this, it's just... defense is way too incapable, I guess, of dealing with the amount of actions the enemies have got. If you give them any amount of leeway at all, they're just going to multi-action you to death. So, like, forcing their hand on turn 1 is really, like, the only thing I can think to do right now. Especially if it's fire season and you got to deal with units like Elise and stuff. Where there's really just no tanking against Elise. So, yeah, I'm thinking, like, stuff like this. Which, like I said before, this was already, like, kind of common. Not, like, super common, but there were a couple of people running stuff like this. Except without Claude, they were running, like, Harmonic Duo Celica and stuff. So, just a different spin on that setup. Alright, we're unable to do anything to Balder, but does it even matter? This fight's already over. Let's just get out of here. And then our oh! We literally just got one. Okay, so we did take a loss. You guys already know the rule, right? Like, I hate showing off defenses that we just win all the time because it's not realistic. So we do, thankfully, at least have one loss to check out here. Right in the nick of time, too. Because the video was just about to end. I think we just watched this one, didn't we? I think so, right? Okay, hold on. Let's get out of here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that loss now, and let's just see how we end here. So Axel rematched me. I do remember playing against him and bullying him pretty bad. All right, so we got here Arena Crom, we got Alphador, we got Celica. Like I said, Celica can break the catapult. Not that it matters here, because his safety fence is over there. But it is a thing. All right, then he's got the new Ninny in there. Oh, we got the Mythic Naga. Interesting. For a second, I didn't even recognize her because of the art that she's got. Yeah, wow, that's pretty good Resplendent art for her. And then we got a Brave Ector Deer. So how does things go here? Let's see. Yeah, he's going to try to tank us, it looks like. So how is he going to be able to do? Oh, we did actually break his fence. Interesting. Yeah, I guess because the catapult broke that, and then we're able to have Duma break the structure over there. Okay, so he stole Foresight Snare with Alphador, and then Claude attacked into Alphador, which I guess if he attacked Celica, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. Because she's got more speed than him, I think, here. Yeah, and then he wouldn't have been able to, like, even if he could have beat her in one hit, she still has Miracle anyway. Might not be a bad idea to give this guy Fatal Smoke. Yeah, the base kit on that Claude, not really the best in the world. They left a lot to be desired on him, but at the very least, they gave him to us as a demote. So you can't really complain. Literally, the best unit on the banner was the demote, so anytime that happens, that's a massive W. All right, yeah, shouldn't be too difficult. He's going to pick us off one by one at this point. We'll go ahead and let it ride. It is the final replay, and we did get a lot of skips, so we did save a little bit of time on this video. But yeah, you guys are going to have to come up with ways to deal with defenses like this, especially after I'm showing it off too, because sometimes people will copy defenses that they see on YouTube. Not just mine, but like other guys too, like Infantry Pulse and such. So yeah, once it's out there, and then people see that it's effective, it becomes basically the primary target that you got to deal with. So yeah, like I said, there are ways to deal with it. It's not like it's unbeatable or anything. It's just really annoying because of how forced you are to do stuff on turn one. All right, he gets hit by the bolt trap there. Not that it matters, but yeah, because our units here really don't have the reach to get to him anymore. Again, maybe having an Emblem Lucina would have really helped instead of Corrin. Because, like I said, we never really took advantage of Magic Save here. It would have just been better off having Lucina, because then that would just be another unit that could also get some Wombo combo shenanigans out there with her Future Vision or swap ability, and then she can get the other action. And then if I gave her the Lin Ring instead of giving it to Holder, she'd be able to reach pretty far. So potentially more toxicity could be added here. All right, we'll go ahead and let him get the pot and then finish us off. All right, not bad remix, or not bad rematch there, Axel. I did beat him back, so it's like we're 1-1 pretty much. All right, then at this point, Corin not really doing nothing. All right, I guess we've seen enough. We can get out of here. So, yeah, that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is our final score for the season. So we end up at 298, which there's still a couple of hours left to go, so probably not going to be able to maintain that the whole time. But, yeah, we're still pretty easily in top 1K, I would say. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the defense and also what kind of defense you guys are running right now. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.